Hi folks, it's Chef Kevin. What I'm making tonight is chicken Marengo. This is a very old recipe dating back to 1800. Now this was Napoleon's favorite dish after the Battle of Marengo in 1800. And he would ask his chef to make this for him after each battle. It's a very rustic dish. It is a braised dish, and I'm going to show you how to make it. Now this may not exactly be the actual recipe because there's so many different recipes for every recipe, but this is the basic chicken Marengo recipe, and I think you're going to like it. Let's check out the ingredients. Okay, what I have here is a 2-pound Perdue chicken, nice quality chicken. I'm going to be cutting that into 8 parts. Other ingredients are baby bella mushrooms, garlic, carrots and celery, fire roasted tomatoes diced with garlic. I have a beautiful bunch of parsley here. Salt, pepper, of course, 2 most common spices in the world. Cognac. And a little olive oil. Okay, I'm going to cut up the chicken into 8 pieces. Okay, the chicken is cut into 8 pieces. I'm going to set that aside. And what I have left over is the chicken back, which is pretty unedible. And I have the remains of another chicken that I used previously. These are mostly bones. There are some meat on this, and that'll add to the flavor. What I'm doing now is I'm making a simple stock. And this is what would have been done back then. And it's still done today. Just about every recipe calls for some sort of stock. I'm going to make a simple stock here. I have a cast iron pot here that's enameled. These are the best cooking vessels you can use for something like this. A little olive oil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown these off. You hear that sizzle, right? That's good. It's going to take about 5 minutes each side. Make it nice and brown. As you can see, the pieces have become nice and brown on both sides. What I'm going to do now, add about 1/4 pint of brandy. Yeah. About a 1/2 pint almost of brandy. Napoleon was one of the greatest military tacticians, and he was also a foodie. Most people don't know that. Just going to let this burn up. Then I'm going to throw in my carrots and my garlic and celery. As you can see, the pieces have become nice and brown on both sides. What I'm going to do now is add about 1/4 pint of brandy. Yeah. About a 1/2 pint almost of brandy. Napoleon was one of the greatest military tacticians, and he was also a foodie. Most people don't know that. Just going to let this burn up. Then I'm going to throw in my carrots and my garlic and celery. Two cups of cold water in. Now, I have not used any seasonings yet, and I don't want to use any seasonings until the stock is almost finished. I'll taste it and season it to taste. I'm going to let this cook down for about 30 minutes now, and then I'm going to pull all the solids out of this, so what remains is a clear liquid that is stock. I have a nice little stock going here. This has been simmering for 30 minutes, and as you can see, the stock has become dark, and that's because the flavor from the bones and the meat and the vegetables have all infused, and that's what gives it the color. Color is flavor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to separate the liquids from the solids and then reduce the liquid. Okay, I took out all the bones and vegetables, so I ended up with the stock, which is basically a clear liquid full of flavor. I'm going to reduce this down for a while, 10 minutes perhaps, and then I'm going to saute the chicken. While my stock reduces, I'm going to season the chicken. Both sides of the chicken, liberal amount of seasoning. Now I'm going to put a little twist in this. This is not how Napoleon would have done it, but I'm going to add some Aleppo pepper. Do you know where Aleppo is?
About Aleppo. About Aleppo.
And what is Aleppo?
You're kidding.
No.
Aleppo is in Syria. It's the epicenter of the refugee crisis.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Stock has reduced. I have a little less than 2 cups. And there's quite a bit of fat on the surface, but I'm going to pull that off. But in the meantime, I'm going to saute the chicken. Still using the same pot. I added some olive oil. And I'm going to put the chicken in. Skin side down. That's most of the chicken. I have the 2 wings left. And I'll throw those in later because they're small and they'll cook quick. So I'm going to brown this off. This is going to take about 6-7 minutes each side. And then I'm going to put the stock back in along with the tomatoes, diced tomatoes, and after that I'm going to put the parsley in. Hang in there. The chicken is all browned off, and if you look closely at the pot, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the bottom. What the hell is that? That's all flavor. Problem is, it's stuck to the bottom. But no worries. Add some more brandy. And that will loosen up all those bits and pieces. I'm going to add a little stock. I pulled the grease off the stock. So now, the fond, that's F-O-N-D, has released from the bottom of the pan. That's where all the flavor is. That's all the good stuff. Okay. Gonna add the chicken back into the pot. Smells so good. Ooh. Oh, what's this? That came from the chicken. That goes right back in. That's all flavor. Stock in. Diced tomatoes in. Spread that around. Okay, this is a braised dish, which means it cooks in liquid that almost covers the meat. It's not a stew. A stew, the meat would be completely covered. So I'm going to let this cook down another 20 minutes or so, and then I'm going to add the parsley and then cook the mushrooms, and then add the mushrooms to the chicken. I didn't say this was going to be easy, did I? It's been cooking away for the last 20 minutes or so. I'm going to add the parsley. The parsley goes in last, because if you put it in too soon, it'll just become mushy and unrecognizable. So I'm actually going to take this off the stove at this point. It's been cooking. Smells awesome. And now I'm going to start my mushrooms. Now, according to some food historians, mushrooms weren't a part of the recipe for chicken Marengo. Actually, chicken Marengo, the original recipe, according to some food historians, included crawfish and an egg. And once Napoleon realized that mushrooms were substituted for the crawfish and the eggs, he became very, very disgruntled. He thought it was bad luck. Now, I don't know what the availability of crawfish and eggs were in 1800, but this is the way I'm doing it. Okay, folks, I'm going to cook off these mushrooms in butter. I halved them, quartered them, pretty much all the same size. Let's do it. Getting tired here. The mushrooms have become nice and browned off. Now I'm not going to add this to the chicken until it's ready to serve. It's more like a garnish, actually. Next thing I'm going to do is plate it. Here it is, folks, all plated up. I'm not quite sure how Napoleon would like this, but I think it came out pretty nice. Chicken Marengo. Thank you so much for watching.